Welcome, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign to the month of January, where it is all about your career. January 2024 is going to open up some new doors. It can even go 2 years past this January of 24, and you're going to have a lot of intensity from Lord Mars, the ruler of your sign, but in very interestingly positive ways. So let's get going and talk about what's in store for you in the month of January. Just so you know, the only thing I'm sharing with you guys this month is that if you want to get my 2024 All Signs videos, that's a fundraiser that I do every year, and you missed the pre-sale price, you can still get it for a lesser but still affordable price of $59 until the very end of the month of January, and that is 12 videos times 90 minutes each, one for each sign. Look below to get the bundle for only $59. And if you want your own sign only, you can also purchase that below. Then after February 1st, the price goes up to $77. So thank you very much, fundraiser, for my equipment, my assistance, and stuff like that. This material never goes public. Let's get going and talk about your month. Okay, like I'm one of you, I have a sun and a moon in Aries. This is going to be most accurate for your rising sign. But you can also listen for your sun as if you're listening for career and purpose, and your moon for home and body and safety needs already. But definitely find your rising sign first and listen to that. We're using the whole sign house system because that's how all astrologers delineate in YouTube. And by the way, yeah, my name is Lori Lothian of Lunatic Astrology. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like, and please hit the notification bell to get some of my 30 videos that I put out every single month to help you navigate the sky, create better timing in your life, avoid the pitfalls, and yeah, just go with the flow. Time your best life, guys. All right. So first off, let's start with the beginning of the month of January. First off, Jupiter is going direct. He will head direct at the very tail end of December, and we kind of go into the month feeling a sense of momentum beginning to build as he gets faster and faster in the sign of Taurus, which is your money and earnings house. Bottom line, Aries, things are going to start to move forward. Things are going to start to flow. You're going to start to feel better about your money, your savings, your possessions, your earnings, and even your dietary style. If you've been trying to revise your food style diet, maybe you want to do a dry Jan, for instance, one of those kinds of resets. Jupiter direct on December 30th really lends himself to supporting you in encouraging you from his second house placement to reduce the offending foods from your diet or substances. But also he begins to show you his true hand. And some of you may have seen some kind of slowdown in your earnings or some kind of regress to the mean in your money earning story, September through December. I've seen it mostly in a decrease in subs here on YouTube from, 3,000 a month to 2,000 a month, September, October, November, December. But, as he goes direct, you might find something to do with livelihood, earnings, money, resources, savings, going into a forward direction in December all the way through to the last week of May. Second of all, and I'm not covering every single thing for every single sign, okay? I mean, because we're talking about what you need to know. I would be here all frigging day. It's a busy month in the sky in January. But the thing I really like to also note at the beginning of the month is you're going to come off of a hard square of Venus to Saturn. We all are. It will be kind of like the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day kind of vibe, 2 days before New Year's Eve, 2 days after. Venus squaring Saturn is literally money feels hard or love feels hard or something definitely feels difficult or constrained. And Venus, when she's doing this, is in Sagittarius, where she likes to have adventures. And that's your ninth house of foreign lands and shores, travel to international destinations, book publishing, court and legal matters, and maybe things to do with your spiritual philosophy or even book publishing. But that square from Venus to Saturn in your 12th is holding things up. For a lot of you, it could be a hold up on travel plans, especially if those plans involve international communities or foreign shores. Just be aware it's a bit of a gnarly time. It could also be a hold up in a legal matter or a hold up in an academic matter. As you move forward, though, into the month, one of the exciting things in the sky for you is definitely Lord Mars becoming visible in Capricorn, plus, and this is a big deal, sextiling Saturn and trining Jupiter. Now, the whole time frame between the 8th and the 15th of January is amazing for you. First of all, it is around the 10th and 11th that Mars will become visible, not visible in the sign of Capricorn since January of 77. And this is a rising of a planet breaking free from the beams of the sun that can indicate a new potency in your career, a new level of exaltation and success. Well, he may cut away career, job, and reputation directions that really aren't right for you, over the 2 years that follow this January reset. This is also going to be about exaltation of your reputation and career space, bringing you drive, will, passion, and power, and maybe significant change in the way you show up in the world as a successful being for whatever you are doing in the world. Now, at the same time, this rising is happening, and it's really close to the 11th or so of the month at 5 Capricorn. What you're seeing with Lord Mars, the ruler of your Aries sky, you're an Aries rising sun or moon, is you're going to see him form a sextile or a flow to Saturn, who is in the sign of Pisces, while he is trining Jupiter now direct in the sign of Taurus. Fundamentally, everybody is in direct motion, which is positive, and it forms what we call a mini grand trine. This gives you an incredible boost everywhere from 8th to the 15th of the month of January when it comes to the following themes: revenue generated from foreign shores and foreign lands, opportunities for international travel, opportunities to kick a bad habit, addiction, or substance problem, opportunities to increase your earnings and wealth through an advancement of your reputation, a raise, a promotion, a new job, some kind of expansion in your career and money story. And of course, because Saturn is at the pivot point or the tip of this triangle in your 12th house, this is a 10, 12, and second house narrative. This can also bring you something very spiritual and very deep in alignment with your longer range goals for earnings and success financially in your career. It just feels like a very good time. So proactively launch a product, proactively apply for a job, proactively ask for that raise. Those kinds of things can be very powerful. Backroom deals and negotiations, Saturn, people behind the scenes working to help you financially increase your revenue as well. And then lastly, revenue from foreign lands is very sanctioned, and PayPal and Stripe accounts can go busting out into new levels of success for you during that window of time. Again, January 8th to the 15th. And the exact action is going to be on the 10th regarding the sextile to Saturn, and the 11th regarding the perfect trine to Jupiter. As the month goes on, there's going to be a very intense Pluto conjunct the Sun at 29 Capricorn, as both then enter into the sign of Aquarius. Of course, that is the big news that we're all talking about astrology-wise, is Pluto moving into your 11th house of good spirit. But before that, there's a Sun, which means purpose and career in your eternal nature and the divine mind, co-joining with Pluto at that anaretic 29th degree of the sign of Capricorn. And while you've had this conjunction on the yearly since 2008, this 29th degree is extremely powerful. It could put you in a position, something going on here around the 20th and 21st of the month of January, that you might come to a very critical turning point to finalize, complete, or end something in your work and career path in order to start something new. Or you could conceivably also have a very powerful figure, a wealthy or a authority person, Sun Pluto, in your career space, look over at you in a very powerful and positive way, because this flows to you. It flows to your Aries identity. Well, it doesn't flow, it squares you, but it's very particularly intense for your Aries Sun, Aries Moon, or your Aries identity. If you're an Aries Sun, Moon, or Rising in the last 25 to 29 degrees of Aries, it really feels like a critical turning point in your career and career ambitions and directions as you kind of come to some completion, maybe with a bit of turbulence, but buckle up. Pluto will move on the 21st into your 11th house of good spirit, and that's going to be a long story of 20 years, or until 2043, where you're learning to hobnob with the rich and powerful, have powerful groups of friends and allies, and honestly, perhaps even get quite wealthy in terms of the career gains that you're making, moving yourself into quite a different orbit of financial success. Now, that is a 20-year story, but you do start to feel it when Pluto ingresses into Aquarius, depending on where you live. It's going to be the 21st for most people. And the 21st of January, you might begin to feel a new vibe, right? A new sense of something, and the Sun follows Pluto in there. And so again, a new reset button, a new start in your way you wish to make your earnings and your success in this life. We'll be doing, in terms of revenue from your career, we'll be doing a whole video on that coming up about Pluto for all signs in Aquarius. And so this might be already out by the time you're listening to this, but if not, just check out my channel for that more individual content and how it may impact you. The next thing I want to talk about is there is a strange thing happening in the sky where Jupiter seems to be sextiling Saturn, basically from about the 23rd, 24th of January to the end of the month. I am not including that because it's a refrainment. Jupiter and Saturn don't make an exact degree connection, and therefore I don't believe it really counts. So you may feel a general sense of flow between second house matters and 12th house matters, quitting the addiction, quitting the bad habit, increasing your revenue from foreign places and foreign shores, having more bounty to do with foreign lands and foreigners, whatever that is. It's kind of just flowing through the 23rd to the 31st, but it never really connects fully. And for that very reason, I think that this is actually just a general vibe of almost, but not quite. If you were trying to quit like alcohol, it wouldn't be a dry January. It'd be like a moderated January, for example. If you wanted to boost your earnings from revenue from abroad, it would be an okay boost. It wouldn't be amazing. Now, as we move into the further part of the month, there's a really cool time in which Mercury will conjunct Mars in the sign of Capricorn, where he is now pretty well visible, although hardly. He is still visible in the early morning of the morning. And he's squaring the nodes of fate. Okay, so the square to the nodes of fate is making this a very destined Mercury conjunct Mars. So Mercury and Mars together have a lot to do with bold, powerful communication, passionate ideas, news that is inspiring you to some powerful action through ideas or words. Those are kind of combination things. But because it's happening, Aries, in your 10th house of career, well, hello, you. This is definitely going to look like some kind of career story for you, some kind of, major decision-making, action-taking turning points, because it is in a square to the north node in the house of you, sun, moon, or rising, and square to the south node in the house of your client's audience and marketplace. Major career turning points up here in the middle of the month, 25th to the 28th of December, but fret not, because on the 28th of December, that same Mercury who is powwowing with Mars forms a exciting trine to Uranus in your earnings house, and you may expect some kind of exciting news sometime around the 28th of the month, maybe add 2 or 3 days on either side, around finances and earnings and job opportunities and raises and promotions. So whatever that tension was and that turning point crucible, the 25th to the 28th, then it busts out in some kind of positive surprise to do with your career and your money story. And with Jupiter direct in your earnings house, it will be positive. And it will impact most of the Aries sun, moon, and risings closer to 19 degrees of Aries, but all of you will still get something from this. And then the last thing to talk about before we move to the sign changes of planets is Venus will sextile Saturn. And Venus and Saturn are actually friends in astrology. They like each other. Well, she also forms a trine to Jupiter, our second mini trine or mini grand trine of the month. So we had the first mini grand trine. I hope I mentioned, the 8th to the 15th with that Mars-Jupiter thing and Saturn. And here's our second one. So Venus is sextiling Saturn. Well, she's also from the 27th to about the 29th of the month of January, trining Jupiter. Two benefics flowing to each other cannot be a bad thing. So what is Venus doing? She's up in the top of your sky in the sign of Capricorn at this point, and she's flowing from your career reputation house. And when she's up there, you get a lot of love from the public. You get lots of favors from bosses. Your career sort of looks better than it has for a long time. You're killing it. You're getting what you want. You're getting the promotion, the raise. You're getting the good performance reviews. You're glowing up there. You're shining brightly as a kind of popular person. And that's going to be a story when then Venus says to Jupiter, let's translate that to money. So look for increases of your earnings and your revenue, and it's good for new job applications and getting that job you really want, December 27th to the 28th. Now, the sextile to Saturn at the same time, forming a mini grand trine, is similar to what we've already talked about when we talked about the Mars activation of this energy. Where can you benefit in your career and reputation space through foreigners, foreign shores, foreign lands, revenue generated through international borders from backroom deals and negotiations in the career story that work on your behalf, as well as possibly this also supporting career advancement and success by the reduction of harmful substances that you ingest, giving you maybe a clearer mind or a brighter picture. Now we're going to go next into the changes of signs this month. I know Mercury and Venus particularly. We already talked about Jupiter moving into Aquarius. We have direct motion, of course, Jupiter at the beginning of the year, but also then we have Mercury moving direct on January 2nd at 22 degrees of Sagittarius. Look for things in your life to start to go forward that have to do with foreign shores, foreign lands, and travel. A direct motion, okay? A direct motion. Sagittarius, Mercury, January 2nd to January 13th is an ideal time to plan a foreign trip, take a foreign trip and have great protection and success. Apply for a book publishing thing, apply for a university or school, sign up for a new university course, get a legal contract worked out, get your lawyer to set up a court date. Those ninth house matters are highlighted in a very positive way. Again, you can harness that direct motion, Mercury, January 2 to January 13th. Then on the 13th, he moves in until February 4th, the sign of Capricorn, highlighting your career and reputation space. And don't forget, we'll have Venus up there as well. You're going to have a lot of career success this month and a lot of career action going on. And it's very, very luscious for you. Career and reputation. Venus will, so we got this Mercury deals, negotiations, ideas, marketing, selling, career success for you coming through January 13th to February 4th. Venus is going to, on December the 29th to January 23rd, be in Sagittarius. That's that legal house, foreign lands and travel. This really does make this tight little window of January the 2nd to the 22nd, when it overlaps with Venus, okay? We really want to get you guys signing a book publishing contract, going on a foreign land trip, planning that trip, getting a legal matter squared away, joining a new church, who knows? But this is a nice combination that says, kind of like January 2 to the 22nd, you got both a Venus and a Mercury in the house of foreign shores and lands, and all the other ninth house meanings, very auspicious and very flowing to a sense of luck and well-being and goodness to your very identity. Then, and maybe aligning more with your dharma and your truest purpose in life in those basically first 3 weeks of January. But then Venus will move into your 10th house of career and glow you up at the top of the sky, January 23rd. Add 3 weeks, time for you to push out into the world all of your glam, all of your charm, get what you want, ask for the raise, get the promotion, be famous, get seen, just shine brightly in the career space. And finally, I did mention Pluto moving into Aquarius. We talked about that. But again, around the 21st, you get that Pluto ingress, which will be there until September of this coming fall of 24, but back again after November 19th. All right, now, thank you for listening, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I hope the overview for the month ahead was useful. If you haven't ever tried my channel out, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, see if this is a place where you'd like to hang out. Every single time I do a video on YouTube, I put it out in a premiere mode, and I'm in the chat room with you, taking your questions about the content, including personal questions, but of course not live chart readings, but as a chance to meet me in a format where I'm not just broadcasting, but I'm connecting with you. So those live premieres are about 20 to 26 a month. And if you want to connect with me, also, you can join my Patreon community. I have a sale to the end of January. Basically, join $5, get 3 free courses from me. One you can take live in January. The other 2 are pre-recorded. And if you miss the live, you can also get the replay. And for $5, take a chance. If you don't like my community after a month, you can unsubscribe. So check out my Patreon link below. Thanks for listening, Aries. Have a wonderful January of 2024.